Hey gamers, Lord Arcane here. First, I need to apologize about Tuesday. It's been one of those weeks. I hate to miss them, so I'm going to kind of change things up a little bit. You should be able to get these videos Fridays at 7 Eastern. That should give me enough time to wrap them up, and we'll probably record a few of them a little in advance. I'm going to continue doing the newses when they jump out at me, gameplays when I can, etc. But I've had a lot of people who are kind of interested in the stories of my characters. So I'm kind of focusing for a little bit. Should see a lot of these too. Let me know if you like them. Okay. So give me some feedback. Let me give you some basic, brief history on this. Okay. I've been playing for 40 years. Long time for tabletop gaming. I know I'm not young. But this particular this series is going to focus on, partially because I have artwork for them, for at least several of them, and partially just because they're comparatively recent. But this series is going to focus on mostly my society characters. Okay, I have documentation to remind me what I did and things like that. So to put that in perspective, I have 47 first edition Pathfinder Society characters, 5 Starfinder Society characters, and 11 second edition Pathfinder Society characters. So I've got a lot to talk about. Today I'm going to talk about Asmodia. She's my very first society character. I figure it's a good place to start. Plus I have artwork for her. The artwork here is by Reagan Shoup. Great guy. I've worked with him quite a lot, actually. I enjoy it. This is one that I commissioned specifically for this particular character. And I'm going to talk a little bit about her history in this video, and then kind of where she shows up a few other places after the quote-unquote first edition history. And then I'm going to get into her first adventure, her first story. These are going to be written and posted on my blogs, as well. The link will be in the description. And I'm not going to, push these as much from the business side, the Diacordia side, because they're in Paizo's world. They're in Galarian, and it wouldn't be right for me to push too much there. So these will hit on copyright information from Paizo. Bear with it. I'm going to try to avoid giving too much away in the plots because I don't want to taint anybody else's scenarios as they're playing them or whatnot. But I will talk about enough to put things in perspective. But I'm hoping you guys enjoy these. So let me know. Okay, first of all, Asmodia Deratu Voralius. First, the fun history about her. Okay, Asmodia is one of those names that shows up as oh, by the way, you can choose this name if you're from Chiliacs. So I figured, Asmodia, that's a good name. It was taken. All right, so let's find a family name. Voralius. Aha, there's a good Chelish family name. Asmodia Voralius was taken. All right. Fine, be that way. I'm going to give her a middle name too. Middle name, all three of them together, wasn't taken. So therefore, you got Asmodia Deratu Voralius. We just call her Asmodia for most of these. Anyway, so Asmodia was my very first Pathfinder First Edition Society character. She is. I looked through her notes. I keep them. That's part of why I'm doing these on the Society characters mostly. I keep detailed notes as part of the process. So her very first adventure was in May of 2016, so just over 6 years ago. And she's grown and evolved a lot from there. You'll read about this in the blog post, but I'll give you some of the information. Okay, I decided early that she was kind of an outcast among the Chilish people because she didn't subscribe to their beliefs on society. She, as I grew the character, as I developed the character, okay, originally she was just there. I didn't have her family life sorted much. She just was an outcast. Okay, her alignment is on the good side of things, with not so much the evil side of things. So she really didn't fit in well with a family. After playing her for about the first session or two, she established kind of an aloof, regal approach to things. So I figured, okay, she can't be a serious noble, but she's a minor noble. And recently, actually, with stuff I have released under Pathfinder Infinite, so I will talk about that because that's part of Galarian World. She has shown up in the Order of the Opening Tower, which is a series of adventures I'm writing and setting I'm writing. I don't get to those a whole lot, but she shows up. She's actually a major player there. So all of this is talking about her history with the Pathfinder Society in First Edition. I'm not going to talk about her Opening Tower stuff, which is technically Second Edition. She has reasons why the Society doesn't fit her a whole lot at this point, but that's neither here nor there. If you're really curious about it, you can read the Opening Tower information about her. Maybe I'll post a blog about that later. But anyway, so she was originally just this basic outcast character. Over the course of time, she had a little brother kick in. Dispoton is one of my other characters, also First Edition. And then when I started writing the Order of the Opening Tower stuff, I fleshed out a little bit more. Her mom is still alive. Her mom is not polite to her. They don't get along at all. And it fleshed out the story. Originally, she was just running away from home, as it were. But yeah, I've decided since that her mom tried to sacrifice her. So yeah, that kind of leaves a mark on your family relations. And she has a little sister who's actually a priestess in the cult of Asmodeus. That's how I say it. I've been corrected on it a few times, but I'm old and not changing my ways anytime soon. Okay. Asmodia is actually a teleportation specialist, which is kind of a subcategory of conjurer. So she has all the conjuring abilities, and she blinks around the battlefield a lot. She couldn't do it a whole lot early, but now she does it all the time. She hates being grabbed. She hates being in melee. She really doesn't like it. She actually has a crossbow, and hence the artwork there. At her level, she's currently 10th level as far as society characters. In the Opening Tower, I haven't really spelled her out. She's beefed a little bit on that. But her crossbow is actually her focus item. She doesn't use her crossbow to fire very, very, very rarely. I think I fired it once in the last 7 levels or so. Maybe I'll even tell you that story too. But that'll be ways away. Ways away, by the way. But she's summons things. She summons earth elementals mostly because she can speak with them. She, speaks Terrans, can talk to earth elementals, and therefore she has really good relations with them. She summons some of the other elementals from time to time, but she can't speak with them. She just doesn't have those languages. So that's the thing. The goal of this particular series is to talk about the characters, talk about how I've evolved them over the years, and kind of share their histories from their perspective. So they're going to be written as a journal, and I'll be reading from their journal as we go. As I said, these will be linked to one of my domains, and I'll put that in the notes, the description. So check it out. Tell me what you think. Moving on. This is our actual official summation of our very first adventure. And for areas that I couldn't remember it in detail, I used a little bit of creative license and fleshed out what she would have done from my current point of view. So this may not be 100% accurate to what happened, but bear with me. My memory's not 6 years old. Asmodia Journal, Adventure 1. After studying for many years, I have decided to pursue my magical career in the city of Absalom. My mother is not excited for this. She feels I should return home and serve the nation, as our family always has. It is not the future I wish to pursue. I need to find answers for myself that are not tainted by our dark history. I arrived in the city of Absalom in the spring of 4716. My initial wealth has been depleted, but I've found a group that explores the world and constantly wishes to learn about new things. This group is not greatly known in Cheliax because the government opposes their efforts. Nevertheless, I find I have a kindred desire with this group. The Pathfinder Society, forgive the background noise here, somebody's texting me. I have a wonderful phone for that. It sounds like I'm telling jokes all the time. The desire with this group called the Pathfinder Society I decided to pursue membership in the hopes of furthering my knowledge of the world and the planes. Asmodia is very, very, very good at knowledge planes and knowledge history. A little bit of a side there. Always has been. She's gotten much, much, much better. It was not long before I was given my first assignment. Ironically, this did not draw me far from Absalom, but it did broaden my horizons, even if only a fraction. This opened my eyes to the darkness and suffering that exists outside of my home realm of Cheliax. A global organization that dabbles in smuggling, slavery, and illicit goods has released a new drug on the market. It was horrifying enough that one of their members approached the Pathfinder Society and requested support to shut down the operations of the Asmodia Consortium in the city. Her conscience finally convinced her that her employers were too unscrupulous to continue working with. Out of an abundance of caution, she requested we prove our abilities before she would reveal the location of the warehouse where the drugs were located. Forgive me for the occasional pauses. I edit things, and when I read things that even I typed that are wrong, I catch them. So I stumble over and go, that's not right. I'll fix them later before I post the blogs. As is often the case, nefarious organizations are unable to operate completely independently. We found that the Asmodia Consortium was dependent upon a relationship within the city to smuggle their goods. Although we were unable to determine the exact identities of the collaborators, some well-placed chaos within the tavern where they sought to meet proved effective in disrupting their business. Never underestimate a conjurer with an incredible intellect. Our next course of action took us to the mastermind who created the dangerous and illicit material. Deep in the sewers, naturally, this being brewed and tested his concoctions on the homeless and the abandoned of the city. The damage to their mental abilities was clear and was mirrored in the emptiness of their eyes. It pained me to see the depths of depravity the chemist had pursued to do this to his own fellows. We were delighted to defeat him and turn him over for punishment. We even sought aid for the subjects of his torture and experimentation from the local church. I did not, however, remain unscathed in the fight. I was badly burned by the villain and decided at that moment to focus some of my efforts in becoming resistant to fire when the time allowed. A little side note from there. In society, you pick up boons that give you kind of special toys, and Asmodia actually has a boon where her fire resistance has grown over the years. So she is actually resistant to fire now. Finally, we were able to get the location of the warehouse and even some preparation. Time to ambush the smugglers before the product was released across the inner sea. Searching through the various crates, we found bear traps, bottled swarms of spiders. Who would ever collect so many arachnids in a glass jar? And a very angry, very hungry guard dog. When the thugs of the Asmodia Consortium arrived to remove their illicit goods, they regretted many of their decisions with painful consequences. We convinced our contact that the Pathfinder Society would benefit extensively from her knowledge, and that we all understood the difficulty of finding a new family that more aligns with your own moral compass. I found I could relate with her, having chosen to abandon my birth family, my title, my wealth, in pursuit of knowledge and the ability to assist others rather than oppress them. So anyway, there's your quick summary of her very first adventure. And if you like it, let me know so I can keep doing her. I've got many, 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 many pages of Asmodia. So until I talk to you next time, it will be at least Friday at 7 Eastern. I might try to get another video posted on Tuesday, but I'm finding it hard to do 2 a week right now. Starting new jobs and all that. So keep me posted, guys, and I will keep you appraised of as much information as I can. Talk to you later.